Welcome to the 2013 Real Property Management Franchise Conference.
Hello, my name is Vicki Faison. I'm the Operations Manager of Real Property Management Professionals of Central Florida in Orlando and Real Property Management Professionals of North Florida in Jacksonville. Mr. Gene Bennett, our franchise owner, has asked me to come up with a video to enter into this year's contest. After being in property management for over 30 years, he figured I would have some stories to tell, and he was right. We have two scenes today to share with you. The first scene takes place at a home where an eviction has been scheduled. The manager arrives and meets with the sheriff. They knock on the door to let the resident know they are there to do the eviction. The eviction crew proceeds with the eviction, and the manager and the sheriff are talking in the driveway of the home. Suddenly, the resident exits the home and approaches the manager and the sheriff. And then the unthinkable happens. The resident slipped and fell. EMS arrives on the scene to tend to the resident, and the eviction process proceeds. Believe it or not, there's more to this story. The very next day, the manager arrived at the property to do a more thorough move-out inspection. She discovered that the tenant had poured hot wax into all of the sink drains. It then hardened in the J-bed. All of the plumbing had to be inspected and replaced. The evicted resident then showed up at the home 30 days later, knocked on the door. The new resident opened the door, and the evicted resident proceeded to explain that she had items in the attic. The new resident called our office, and of course we told her that everything, including the items in the attic, were put to the curb when the sheriff was present for the eviction. That's not the end of the story. The most amazing part of the story is that about 60 days after the eviction, the former resident appeared in the office, this time with a handwritten 6-page letter explaining that the manager was a horrible person for evicting her and her family, and that karma would catch up with her in life. Not sure where that tenant is today, but as for us, we're still managing properties, and life is good. Welcome back. This next scene takes place at an occupied home. The manager has set an appointment for a post-move-in inspection. The residents moved in about 60 days ago. The manager arrives at the home and knocks on the door. She is welcomed in by the resident. Once inside, the manager quickly identifies a problem. The manager says, Mr. Tenant, my records indicate that this is a 4-bedroom home. That is correct, isn't it? Mr. Tenant replies, why yes, that is true. But after we moved in, my mother became very ill and had to move in with us. Both of the bedrooms were too small, so we knocked out the wall between the 2 bedrooms and made one big room. Now my mom is very comfortable. The manager immediately starts thinking to herself, oh my, who did the work? Where did the electrical outlet go? Did they get a permit? Did they even need a permit? What am I going to tell the owner? As it turns out, the tenant is a general contractor and did the work himself. When the residents vacated, the wall was put back perfectly. Unfortunately, halfway through the lease, the home went into foreclosure, and when the residents vacated, we lost the account. As demonstrated in this video, property management can be a bit of a challenge sometimes. And for me personally, it gives me great peace of mind in knowing that I'm part of a property management organization that is not only knowledgeable, but they're professional as well. We can all learn from each other and grow as managers. Thank you, Real Property Management.